Hello, and welcome to the RWBY Nation podcast. I'm Admin Winter, the podcast admin, and your host for today's episode. Today we have...
I'm Admin Weiss.
I'm Admin Pyrrha.
And I'm Admin Mercury.
Okay, so today we are going to talk about episode 9, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
The kill episode. Just all your feels, they're just gone. Who needs
Volume
them?
3, Chapter 9, PvP.
What are these feels you talk about? I no longer have them.
I think it's safe to say that episode really ground my gears.
You're fired.
Boo.
Boo! Get off the stage!
I tried.
Not hard enough.
I'll have to do better next time.
No, we're not bringing llamas with hats into this.
Jeez.
Anyway.
So, can I be the first to say that I found it kind of... It wasn't even necessarily a dark episode more than a heart-wrencher, but it gave us a lot of insight into characters that have been there from the beginning. Like, we've never seen Ozpin react like that to any situation before this.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think, and I mean, we don't know what the other Grim Invasion's threat level was, but I think it's safe to assume this is the biggest one, in a long time in the history of Bale, and Ozpin knows that there's a real threat.
Yeah, they said threat level 9, I believe, which seems to be their highest rating, so...
Mm-hmm. I mean, and it could be on a scale of 10 as well, but that's still really high.
Yeah, because remember, they have a bunch of... I'm not sure exactly. I know there's a lot of Goliaths moving into the city. There's the massive Nevermore. I'm pretty sure there are a bunch of alphas. Alpha Wolves and Ursa moving in. And I think someone on her page sent us a screenshot of it. And it wasn't completely shown. I think it was a Goliath, but it was unable to be seen. And it's that thing's bigger than a Goliath. What the heck is that? And you couldn't clearly see it. So it was is there something even more deadly out there?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, right now we don't really know for sure.
And then we're going to just...
that's a scary
when the next
thought.
episode's not going to be an actual episode, it's just going to be a World of Remnant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
All the suspense. That is not fair.
Rooster Teeth really knows how to keep you watching long term.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a great, they're doing a great thing by building the suspense. Because if they just let us know exactly what happened, there'd be no reason to keep tuning back every week.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't mean we're not having the best of fun on our page with the comments.
I don't know what you're referring to.
I'm going to withhold my judgment from saying anything more.
That might be wise.
But
Might be wise, huh?
Yep.
But I mean, in the episode, I think the most dramatic part for me is where they killed our favorite sentient toaster.
Sentient toaster.
Literally, 1 second, man. 1 second.
Okay, alright, this is a shout out to Sebastian Brown. I appreciate you for that comment you left saying sentient toaster, because you're just great. I thank you for that.
Yeah, that made the entire night for me.
I definitely posted about it.
The brave little toaster.
Very brave, but not brave enough. Am I the only one that found Ruby's reaction to Penny's death in quotes, because that's up for debate, but am I the only one that found her reaction to what happened to Penny more heartbreaking than what happened?
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I guess I can agree to that. Like, oh man, it was brutal. Like, and it was the shortest reaction like ever.
She just hits the ground and starts to cry.
Yeah,
Did you hit the
and then
ground
they cut.
faster than when I kicked her?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
How rude.
I'm sorry,
I
but
love
my
it.
character.
People are
just
freaking
can't-
out about that a lot, but people
You
don't
may
realize
have
that
kicked-
the semblance just pretty much blocked most of that.
You may
Yeah.
have kicked RWBY. I tore Penny apart, albeit on accident.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Ooh.
One could call it a Pyrrhic victory.
Jeez.
Oh, here we go.
Oh boy.
But if she does actually like testify or whatever you want to call it, then they might actually pinpoint it back to your emerald.
They maybe not emerald, but they'll understand that something is up, because it's gonna be weird if 2 fights in a row,
Three
three fights in a row, you've got students being like, no, this is what happened. They're not all gonna be just like, oh, we did something bad, now we're gonna get out of it and use the same story.
Yeah, but I think Ozpin's already kind of on to that something's happening, especially after Cinder goes off and like hijacks the streams and says that it wasn't an accident.
Well, this is the main move for everything, because now they don't have time to discuss about what they did, because they're all preoccupied now with something far greater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wonder if, because of what happened with Yang, they're gonna bar her from defending Vale.
But then they would also have to bar Pyrrha as well, because they just saw her tear Penny apart.
But that was more accident, because she pushed back Penny's weapon without realizing that where the wires were crossing. It was pure blowback. Where with Yang, it looks like she physically attacked him.
That's true, but also keep in mind that last episode, in episode 8, we saw her slam Jean against a wall. And now, when she's basically getting tripping on Aura, for lack of a word, because she's getting into illusion, she's even more mentally unstable. She couldn't fight properly, if you get what I'm saying, because she'll just be freaking out every single second.
True.
But she
Looking
can also testify in the fact that she said she's what seemed to be only like maybe 10 blades at most seemed like a million.
Yeah.
And when she explains the fact that she was hallucinating, and Ironwood of course knows how many blades she actually has, they're gonna be like, okay, something's up.
Yeah. But what we also have to remember is us as the audience are the only ones that saw Pyrrha throw John against the wall other than John.
Yeah. I'm sure Glinda still didn't like it.
I have a huge thing. Like, what if Penny's cameras caught something? Like her eyes and stuff.
Well, what if it caught? Because she was focusing on the fight the whole time. She would have been picking up on Pyrrha's hesitation, like fear at most. But I doubt her cameras were unless she had aura sensors as well to detect that it was going in, her aura was going off the wall. She wouldn't have been able to detect anything out of the ordinary.
What about Velvet's camera?
Yeah, that's another one I'd really like to see.
It depends if she had it out.
Yeah, she probably thought it was just another tournament fight.
I'd also like to know how Ren went from sitting with Jean and Nora, and then out of nowhere was with
Sun and Coco. I just realized that now that you bring it up now. That's so right.
Because in the beginning of the episode, he's sitting there cheering with Nora, and then at the end, he's like, ha 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 ha, I'm over here.
Maybe Nora pissed him off.
I doubt that. He's put up with her this long.
Asked for one too many pancakes.
Drank one too many gallon of syrup.
I love the picture that Ironwood set in the chat. It was like I think the troll edition of this character status in episode 9, and it said Sun, and under Sun status it said expert at playing Name That Grim.
Yes.
It was so funny. I'm like, yeah, that's right. And I think I'm going to bring up this topic now. Everyone's favorite sarcastic sass master is back
Damn it.
in all his orange-haired glory. I'm happy to actually have him back because he brought in comedy, which was great.
I
Yeah.
just I just want to hear Neo's voice. She is confirmed with a voice actor. I just
You ready?
frustrating.
You ready? Here's the line. You ready? And that's it.
I can see that, or just her laughing like the Joker or something like that.
In the words of our favorite fat acapella person, no need to shout.
Don't even bring up Pitch Perfect.
Damn rights I would.
Please
Darn
don't.
rights. Darn rights. You heard nothing.
So, I've got. So, here's something I want to point out. So, you saw how Ironwood got into the announcer box and was trying to contact Osmond, and Osmond replied, You brought your army here. Now use it."
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We just saw Roman. Well, first of all, we just saw Neo take out an entire cruiser's worth of soldiers, or at least control staff. Freed Roman, and he promptly then shot down 2 more of the cruisers. So that's how many Elysian soldiers already dead, or at least wounded,
Incapable of fighting.
Yeah, not to mention all the Elysian knights on board, assuming those haven't been hacked by the Queen virus, which means Atlas is down to maybe half their military at most, assuming those 2 cruisers provided enough manpower.
Exactly. It depends how many men were on each ship.
Those are pretty half decent sized ships. There
Yeah,
have
they
been
were
at
pretty
least
big.
a crew of 50 to at least run it. Then how many were actually just military personnel?
Mm-hmm.
Just to be military personnel.
Simply in transport.
With this amount of an invasion against them, I'm gonna say at least a third of the Elysian military is disabled, because I'm not sure how much their military really is.
At least the ones that are there.
Yeah, and we don't know how big Vale's military is, though we know their school has a bunch of hunters on hand.
So they'll deal with it grim, but whether or not the White Fang fight is a whole nother story.
Yeah, I'm seeing the only possibly, unless Osmond himself steps into the fight, which I believe is going to happen, they would need either Vacuo or Mistral that have responded on a split dime and have already been thinking about this to send in their troops. But then the whole tower is already disabled, and they wouldn't be able to communicate because of what Road of Remnant said, that if one tower goes down, they all go down.
But the question wherein lies is, by creating a diversion in Vale and having the other kingdoms respond to that, what if they're making it so that they're leaving their towers unprotected?
That's also a huge possibility.
And don't forget, Adam said in episode 7 that he was going to return a Mistral. That means there's a White Fang presence there as well, which means if one tower's already disabled and this already disables all the other towers' communication. That means they don't know anything that's going on. That means the White Fang and Mistral can take over that kingdom, and already
no one will be the wiser.
Yeah, that already means half of the 4 kingdoms are gone, leaving Atlas and Vacuol, and we already know that the Atlas military is already getting beaten around in Vale, which leaves Vacuol alone to fight off whatever might be coming their way.
It's just not a pretty picture to paint.
Mm-hmm.
It honestly isn't.
The whole series taken a really dark turn, and there's so many possibilities out there right now, and it's terrifying to think of what Rooster Teeth might do with the series now.
We have to remember it's very loosely based on the Grimm brothers' fairy tales, which all are extremely dark. They were never meant to be children's stories. They were meant to scare the ever-loving daylights out of children that weren't behaving.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that this
Tales of warning.
Exactly. the fact that it's turning this dark this fast is honestly not as shocking as people are making it seem.
Yeah, I think it's just the escalation though. It went from being like, just a fighting show to pretty light in context of story and everything. And then it took this really dark turn where a character is dead, another one has been framed for mauling another
That's
student.
pretty much what a Grimtail story is like.
Yeah, it just
Exactly.
escalated really fast, and I don't think that's what people were really expecting.
It was a slow escalation at first. Like this volume definitely was. They put the
Tipping
pedal
point.
to the metal, yeah. But think about it. Volume one, very light on any dark themes whatsoever, bringing in White Fang as a terrorist group. Volume two, you
They were
have my
establishing characters a lot in the first, though.
That's true. But Volume 2, right off the bat, they established my character as a cold-hearted killer. And
Mm-hmm.
that for me immediately showed this series is going down. And then bring in Mountain Glen, which is a town and completely annihilated. That you can't say that it's getting progressively darker.
Yeah,
No,
it
and that's
just
if
dropped into darkness.
if Monty was following the progression of a grim fairy tale as close as it seems, this is exactly how they're set up. In the first little bit of a grim tale, you're introduced to the characters and their backgrounds and what makes them who they are and how they meet. Then they set up context and story, and then it's just an onslaught of this dark content that you never saw coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're at the start of the onslaught now, and it's kind of terrifying because the Grimm's tales they
never end
they go
pretty.
pretty far, and they never go like in a nice, pretty scene. Like
People
they
get
don't
shoved
end
in
well.
ovens, and people get eaten, and people are killed in cold blood, and hearts are stolen physically, and
Yeah, okay. Let's
Eh.
walk away a little bit from this.
I think though
Yeah.
that I think that this invasion though, as big as it seems, it's probably only like a beginning thing. Cause while it seems like it's the whole thing, think about it. They're focusing on one area. However, they're attacking it not only with all the teams from all the other academies present who are trained to fight off the Grim.
So the Grim are just a distraction, if anything.
Them and the White Fang, because Cinder, Mercury, and Emerald are going to be doing whatever big thing they're planning. But they think this play is going to be so big, but they are considering they need to consider the fact you have all of Beacon, and I'm going to say at least half to three-fourths of each of the other academies present. So that gives a huge student base to take out the lower base Grim and the White Fang members. And then you have Ozpin, you have Ironwood, you have Gwen, you have Goodwitch, Oobleck, Port, and Crow, who are all extremely. It's not completely confirmed, but we already know that four of them are extremely powerful in their own rights, and they can probably take out huge amounts of Grim.
probably.
Considering all of that, say like those four, with the exception of Ironwood and Ozpin, those four go out, take out a big amount of the enemy along with all the other hunters, any remaining Atlas military, any Veil military. And you have Ozpin himself, and it's kind of shown, or at least led on to the fact that he's one of the most powerful hunters in this show. So that
Mm-hmm.
means he has to be revealed at some point, finally revealing his big fight, or at least whatever skills he has. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be enough, even with Cinder taking half of Amber's power.
Speaking of
Hopefully,
which, this
to
might be a
defend it.
catalyst.
Oh, for
This might
Pyrrha?
exactly. It might be the catalyst that gets her to take on the responsibility of the remaining half of the Fall Maiden.
Mm-hmm. I'd honestly love to see a showdown between Cinder and Pyrrha after she takes the other half of the Fall Maiden's power.
It terrifies me because a lot of, and yes, it may just be fan theory, but a lot of fan theory alludes to the fact that eventually it's going to be Team RWBY that becomes the Four Maidens, which means Pyrrha has to die. And I'm not okay with that.
Or Pyrrha doesn't take the responsibility.
I could be okay with that. Let's go with that one. I like that one.
She's gonna take the responsibility.
No. That's not okay.
By the way, we have lost Mercury. Just letting you know.
Oh no.
Oh no, Mercury got disconnected?
Yes, unfortunately.
Oh, damn. His computer doesn't seem to like him very much.
Well, that's unfortunate that we lost Merc, but I guess we'll have to carry on without him.
Show must go on.
Exactly.
Oh, there it goes. Dropped altogether. Ugh. That means he really is dealing with some issues.
Darn internet. Technology is a beautiful thing when it actually chooses to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even speaking of technology, that World of Remnant video just talking about the communication system. Oh my gosh, that was so poetic.
It was poetic as heck, but it also bothered me because I'm just like, why is there no fault tolerance? That's silly.
Yeah, it's like none whatsoever. It seems kind of silly not to have any.
Okay, so I don't
apologize.
normally have you two on. I know I have Mercury on quite a bit sometimes, but I was wondering if you guys had some bigger overarching theories.
Wait, sorry, my Skype dropped out on me. Was there anything I really missed at all?
Just us saying that your Skype dropped.
Pretty much.
Why does my computer do this to me?
Keep you on your toes.
Anyway, go ahead with Winter's question.
We can kind of diverge off of the episode now.
Okay.
Alright, I'm hoping at least that, like, you saw how Yang was, like, kind of disheartened at the end of it?
Yeah.
At the end, so where she's doing her announcement? If she's not, I'm just pointing that out, but, like, I'm hoping this invasion is, like, something that'll draw Raven back into the fight. Like, we know she's out and about everywhere else but there. Maybe this, again, will bring her back to help fight them off at all. Because it's where her daughter is, even though she said she wouldn't save her again. I had a feeling she would still try to return regardless of what she said.
Am I the only one that thinks Raven parallels Luke right now?
Wait,
Luke
like
Skywalker?
Yes.
As in, like, future Luke Skywalker, like Force
Future.
Awakens?
Yes.
possibly. Now that you mention it.
Yeah, now that you mention it.
Except without the tough love and just disappears on you.
Yeah.
And that kind of also somehow relating Cinder to Raven, because they seem to be using the same kind of semblance in some way.
We haven't actually seen Raven's semblance. Like, we know she can summon that portal.
But that portal looks the exact same thing as what Cinder
I don't
did.
think it's the same semblance. I think it's a similar power. They just use it differently.
Some sort of connection.
Because Cinder's semblance, from what it looks like, is obsidian synthesis. At least as far as I can tell.
That is pretty boss.
But just speaking of semblances, has anyone noticed how like Good Witch, we have no idea how to like classify her semblance right now. We've seen her do summon weather, we've seen her flip things back to where they belong and everything. But I noticed when I was rewatching that the symbols that go around when Good Witch is summoning the storm and such, or I think it was the storm, but she was using some power and there were symbols present. They looked exactly like the symbols present when Cinder used her power, just in a different color scheme.
It wouldn't surprise me if Glinda is somehow already a maiden.
It wouldn't surprise me at all either.
That might be why she's like so okay with, like, she's not confused at all or anything.
No, Crow specifies how it doesn't work with her because she's too old.
Maybe earlier in life, perhaps.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then she just grew older. Because honestly, I'm not saying indefinite, like, in whole definite theory, but like it may be possible she's related to the Spring Maiden, and then that relates to her. And then you have Amber with Cinder slash Pyrrha. Summer, if she is the Summer Maiden, relates to Ruby, and then you have the possible Winter Maiden being Winter yourself.
Yeah,
I never
maybe.
thought of it that way.
I would say a little too easy, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Rooster Teeth would make it that easy for us to predict.
Surprised why was
maybe.
really the Maiden the whole time.
Maybe.
Could you really just
maybe
say
it's...
maybe to me saying why is a Maiden? Please.
Jeez.
Very, very handsome.
Woof.
But
Yeah.
but just going off on like further things, relates back to the maidens in the end of my like little theory here. But you know how Cinder questioned why they would try to build a synthetic person? What if Penny was meant to be a vessel for the maiden's powers?
So that it wouldn't put people in harm's way.
Yeah, that's my thought. Like, because Cinder even questioned it. What was the point of building one like that? And I always thought before we learned about the maidens and the transfer process and everything, I was like, well, the saving of human life, the more effective the weapon, unmanned weapon, the more lives are saved. Like, you don't even have to risk them. But now that I've learned about the aura transfer process, it really begs the question, what were they planning long term?
Well, I think the other theory is the fact that Penny already has an aurora and it may not be synthetic. She might be told it's synthetic, but it might be someone else's they kind of ripped out.
Yeah,
it's a possibility.
And we don't know. Yeah, it could have been someone else that was dying and they took it out and put it in her.
Or did terrible tests on.
Yeah, or that we don't know about the ethics that are present at all.
I don't think
you'll notice that in the newest episode, Ironwood is trying to like jump the gun to explain this.
So it definitely begs the question: are they trying to cover up some dastardly secret?
I don't think Penny. I don't believe was meant to be like a vessel for the maidens. Because think about it, if they were
It's
trying
way
to
too much power.
well, that and also the fact that Osmond probably would have been told in advance, like saying, "Hey, if Ironwood's in the circus, like, hey, I'm trying to work on this robot who can possibly have an aura, and then we can use her as a maiden vessel." You know, just in case.
He also may know.
He would have
just may
known
not be
about
apparent to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, he may know some of it, but at the same time, we don't know all of Ironwood's true intentions. We don't know if he'd be willing to go behind Osmond's back or not. I mean, he already went behind Osmond's back by making the synthetic person in the first place.
Well, he still trusts him because when he was like, "Hey, I need to explain this to you," he was like, "I don't care. You just help me deal with this right now."
Kind of like, I'll send you to your room later. Right now, you're going to clean up your mess.
Kind of, yeah.
In some ways.
That line though was just great. It's like, you brought your army here, James. Use it.
Yeah. Oh man, we've never seen.
This is the first time we've actually seen a real emotional response out of Ozpin.
Yeah, Ozpin was just kind of aloof before, and now we're seeing him engage in it a bit more.
And if he's anything like the Great Oz, it's gonna get interesting.
Very.
Because Good Witch is based on like the good
Witch of the North.
Good Witch in the Oz universe. And if Oz is the great and powerful, and we've already seen Glinda's power, that means Ozpin has a pretty huge amount of power at his disposal.
How he expresses it is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
I actually have a little mini theory / story. I was at Universal Studios one time and I had a RWBY shirt on, and one day I was getting in line to get a drink, and a Universal employee just like starts talking to me because he recognized the shirt I had, and we just start talking. And I had this theory at the time, which probably won't happen, but you know how Ozpin's symbol is a gear, and his room is in the clock tower with all the gears? I had the idea at some point that like if Osmond gets engaged in a fight or something, he can trans like he just like slams his staff to the ground, and then the whole building of Beacon transforms into like a golem or something.
That'd be
That'd be
pretty
It's like a
really
cool.
cool.
That
gigantic
sounds very
act.
plausible, but I kind of want to make a joke right now.
Do it.
Does
Do
that mean
it.
his chair goes down to his crotch?
Oh, and we bring the chair into it.
Yes.
That was well worth it. Thank you, Winter.
Oh,
Ah, beautiful.
That's good.
Because everyone says it looks like that.
oh my gosh.
I want to go back and double check that chair just for kicks.
That was good. That one was good.
That was
Thank you
comedic
for-
gold.
The first thing that came to my mind when he said it was a mech, I was thinking, what would you do with a chair? He wouldn't just sit on it. It would be a whole nother chair, and that thing would go down.
I'm looking at it now. You're so right about it.
Oh.
Ah.
And then the giant mech's weapon is just a really big coffee mug.
Jeez.
Well, we already have one explosive thermos that launches dogs.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
I think Ozpin having that tower as something, because that really does represent Oz as being this great and powerful kind of, but it's still somewhat of an illusion. It's just this big hurrah, because he was mechanically inclined. If you ever notice, he's just very mechanically in thought.
Yeah,
Very true.
That's especially demonstrated in the new movie when he actually starts coming in and not just already been in there and Dorothy comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You mean the Disney movie they made of him?
Yes.
the great and powerful Oz.
I know there's
They
a
explained
sequel
that
coming
he
out.
was very creative in what he did.
Yeah, because he made like all the different tricks and illusions to fool everybody.
Yeah, like what if Ozpin's power is to like animate things, and then he built this giant academy to be like a golem, and he can animate the whole thing.
Which
Just
might
think
be
about
which
it, in
might
the-
be his weakness in some ways, because that might reveal the place down below, the basement.
That's
Yeah.
Which is what
True.
Cinder may want happen.
Not
which
to
is
mention
why
the
she
fact,
wa-
like,
Which is
Think
maybe
about
why
it.
she wants the Grim Invasion to happen.
also think about it. That's in order to control that thing. That's gonna take a. It can't be a semblance. It would have to be controlled by aura, and unless Ozpin has like the same amount that like Jean has, that's gonna bring him to his knees in no time. Just trying to control it enough to fight.
At least at this age as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we don't know how much aura Ozpin has, because they say that the headmasters of the 4 schools were like the most powerful one, or some of the most powerful hunters and huntresses.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but age doesn't exactly bring on grace.
No.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I wonder if this is gonna finally lead to us seeing what Jean's capable of.
Yeah, I'm
Because we
hoping it
know-
does.
We know that his aura is unlocked, and we know he has a lot of it, but he needs a semblance.
I've said it multiple times on the podcast. I honestly think he has some sort of like shield of some sort, like a bubble shield, if you will, or something closer to the power Bella has in the Twilight series.
That would be boss.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
I maintain the thought. Oh, sorry if I'm interrupting. By the way,
It's fine.
Oh,
Alright.
go right ahead.
I still kind of believe that Jean has like the Susanoo ability that like the Uchiha clan does in Naruto to form a giant like outer being around them to attack and defend for them. But along with what you said, Winter, with the bubble shield, I read a fan fiction recently, and it shows Jean with his semblance, and it's basically has his aura turns into armor, so he looks like an actual knight. And it was a Jean and Weiss fanfic, so for the sake of reference, let's say he looks like the knight that Weiss fought in the trailer, except white.
Which now people kind of strongly believe that was an actual summoned thing from her father as a royal test. Okay, if you don't want to be part of this family, then fight this and prove
I
to me.
did not think about that. That's clever. But anyway, there's more to that semblance. So like, in addition to the armor he has, which boosted his own strength, he also created like this dome of light that was surrounding the two teams in that situation, and it healed their wounds and restored their aura while slowly draining away at his, but he was still able to maintain it for, I I don't know how long they said it lasted, but it lasted quite some time for the rest of the team to recover from their wounds and stuff to continue to fight.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Like,
Slightly
but
OP.
it begs the question of how much he actually has. Like, is it like we don't know how much Osmond has, or Ironwood for that matter, but is he on par with some of the most powerful ones in terms of aura amount?
Aura amount, maybe. Aura control, probably not. He would have to
Yeah.
learn to do that more and more.
But it definitely probably going to show this season, because if it doesn't, then they're really teasing at it.
Like, his semblance, honestly,
Rude.
like for anyone who plays Destiny, when there's honestly, like, this can be Jean's semblance. There's a special ability for the Titan subclass known as Ward of Dawn. And it's basically when you use it, your character generates this massive dome of energy, and all your teammates can go into it, and they won't take any damage from any enemies at the time. So that can just be Jean's semblance, like Winter said, a shield. That shield will be enough to surround himself and anyone who comes to him, and then protect all of them by his own shield.
Because it's definitely the thing that I've always seen is it fits with his theme. He is an arc. He's
the only one who
What does an arc do?
Yeah.
Arc is supposed to support.
The thing I'm most worried about, though, is we know Jean Arc is based on Joan of Arc. I'm really worried they're going to use him as a martyr.
I think it'd be Pyrrha. No offense to Pyrrha as our admin. Because in the Iliad, it's shown that that Achilles gets killed, I think halfway through the war, if I'm not mistaken, by Paris shooting him in the knee or the heel.
Yeah.
So to be honest, Pyrrha being in this emotional of a state and then Cinder attacking her, that can seriously damage their morale. Because think about one of their best students, the invincible girl, being killed is going to make them feel even worse. Because one of their best and brightest is gone now. They won't need Jean because they probably didn't see him as a threat from the beginning. And then seeing what happens to Pyrrha finally makes him the threat that they never saw coming.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that way farther down the line, like after he brings victory and everything, like he's going to follow a total Jean of Arc thing and basically be destroyed by bringing them to victory somehow. Like some way, somehow, I have a feeling he's gonna get destroyed, somehow.
Yeah, but Joan of Arc died because of a very biased court trial by English officials.
Yep.
I doubt that people all of a sudden.
She wasn't English. She was French. She should have been tried in a French court.
Well. I doubt that all of a sudden the local law enforcement is just going to go up to him and say, "Hey, thanks for helping us. We're going to arrest you, hold you for trial, and burn you at the stake. Have fun with that."
Well, unless he right out murders someone.
Yeah, but
I can't see Jean doing that unless heavily provoked.
Well, what if, and this is just way oddball theory, what if it's Torchwick that ends up bringing down Pyrrha as a martyr, and then out of just sheer spite, Jean kills Torchwick?
To be honest, though...
No, Torchwick needs to be alive because Penny's going to come back in some way. Because she has to.
Well,
because
I'm not
Penny.
even talking this season.
She's
like, what if it's later down?
Yeah, well, also because she wasn't in any way interacted with... I can't... Words, wow. Roman in a more actual talk kind of way.
Wait, are we talking about Pyrrha or we're talking about Penny?
Penny.
Well, Penny's the one who made him run away from the dogs, remember? Because she destroyed the White Fang. That's all he needed to see.
But they didn't have an interaction, and them having an interaction is very important to their backstory.
Yep.
Yeah. But, we know that Penny's gotta have something more, because it doesn't really seem much like Rooster Teeth to just introduce a character to make them a plot device of, oh, well, let's just kill them to start an invasion. That doesn't seem like something they do.
Well, they do like messing with your mind.
Oh, they love doing it, but I have a feeling that they're gonna use this opportunity to mess with our mind more by bringing Penny back, but not in the way we'd expect.
I still believe that even if Penny's not dead and they bring her back, she's not going to be the same.
Exactly my thoughts.
Maybe she'll be evil.
Well, it's not just, maybe not necessarily evil, but the chances of her remembering what happened are very high. And she'll have a more cynical outlook on life. Or
she definitely won't be innocent.
For Penny, I have the best description of what might happen. Courtesy of Velvet posting that RWBY Volume 3 bingo I still maintain on a note card. Bottom right hand, yes, I wrote that, I took that post and wrote it down on a note card, and I have been playing it this whole volume.
Nice.
So at the very bottom of the bottom right corner, one of the the bingo selection there is Penny, disable, safe mode, reboot.
Yep.
Yeah.
That possibly can happen.
Very possibly, and I think it would be brilliant if Penny comes back, if she's cold and callous, and if she's just like disabling safe mode, rebooting, and like just goes on an absolute rampage on these Grimm. That'd be amazing.
Awesome, but scary.
Yeah, it would be absolutely terrifying.
I don't know. I'm just I like if the story actually went with that she wasn't just fixed up real quick. She was stolen after she was fixed by Roman, and Roman just was like, hey, you're my friend now. Because then that would strongly play with their actual backstory and their actual character development.
Yeah,
but how would they be able to steal Penny's body at the moment?
Because she went...
Roman's in the ship.
Yeah.
Roman's in the ship. Cinder's possibly Cinder might be able to sneak back in, or Emerald, because they're both in the arena. Or Mercury, since Cinder's basically on a rooftop. Mercury and Emerald possibly could go in and steal the body. Which is true.
But I mean, in all the confusion and everything, I don't think it would be hard for them to really get in a little later, because everyone's panicking and fleeing the stadium.
Perfect time to go steal the body.
Did you realize that all the people fleeing have to wait their turn to get on a ship?
Yeah,
they'll push people around.
Sorry, the next shuttle to save your life we're going to be returning in 15 minutes. Please stay calm and keep hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the weight line at all times. Also, no cutting is tolerated.
Yeah. No, but
no cutting? Well...
No cutting in line.
You might want to tell that to Pyrrha.
Boo. Yeah. You insert not nice word here.
Just curious, guys. So, about that RWBY bingo, the bottom left corner is Roman makes big play. Would you consider him destroying those two ships to be a big play, or no?
It could turn into a big play.
I don't want to mark down.
I would wait another thing.
Wait to see what happens from it.
I can't believe I'm still playing that game. Oh, it's so much fun. So, before the podcast ends, I have two things I'm going to throw out. The first one being, I posted earlier in one of my posts about the possibility of Tai Yang maybe showing up. That probably won't happen, but
I hope it does.
It'd be great. They've teased him long enough.
Like, it'd be pretty awesome to see, like, say RWBY or Yang are fighting off the Grimm and everything, and then all of a sudden, like, this bigger one shows up, and all of a sudden you just see, like, you see the Grimm looking at RWBY and Yang, and then all of a sudden behind him you see the shadow jumping in the air, both fists in, like, a pile driver type motion, just slams the Grimm's head right into the ground.
Yeah.
Turns around and is like, oh, hey, kids.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be a shadow, though. That's the other thing. I think you'd be more of a sun, if you will. But I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm considering that
a lot more brighter.
Like, yeah.
He would be kind of something that would lighten up the fight.
Yeah.
Make it not so
like
dark.
Surfer dude type clothes and all that. Be like, oh, hey, guys, how's it going?
But what bothered me was the fact that, like, whenever they put him in, or whenever they put in we can only assume is the creator of Penny, briefly, they didn't fully animate them.
It was the 2D artwork again.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
that might be indignant. I can't even say the word. Of just saying that they may not be here yet. They are crucial, but not here.
Is it possible that that guy is Mr. Schnee?
I think it's Papa Schnee.
I think it is. I have a
wanna
feeling
say
that
He
it
looks way
is.
more researchy. He looks like he has a big beard, like a scientist kind of thing. I wouldn't think
But
so.
the only characters so far that have shock white hair are Schnees.
Yeah,
Then
I
again,
have
they're
a
the
feeling.
only characters shown that have
I
white
have
hair.
a feeling he's Papa Schnee and the creator of Penny, because we know that Weiss's dad, my dad, I guess, would be, is like a huge dust provider in the story, but we don't know if he's funded any of the military operations at all.
Yeah.
That's possible. Heavily
They
possible.
are both Elysian.
They're all from Atlas, and yeah, it makes like the possibilities there.
Can you imagine what it would do to Weiss to find out that Penny was her sister?
In some regards, yeah.
And
That's what you
and
get
then
for
think
being
about her
hesitant to be
first
her
interaction. Her only interaction with her is just running her over.
friend. And like
In
being
Volume
completely
1.
negative towards being her friend.
Yeah, I think that would really break up the character Weiss. It would just destroy her, and it'd
Because we've
be.
already seen her open up because of Winter being introduced.
Yeah, we've seen her
Hi,
open up.
Winter.
Now this would just like she went from being like untouchable to like being an actual person. This would show just like the depths of her emotion range. She would no longer have the emotional range of a teaspoon.
Thank
That's why
you.
she's my wife now.
I'm gonna have to unfortunately cut you guys off here. We should probably end it right about now.
Okay. So if
Leave
you
it-
found us on YouTube and not the page on Facebook, leave us a comment in the comment section below, letting us know that you found us on YouTube and not on Facebook.
And tell us what you think of our theories, our antics.
Our random banter.
Yep, and go like our Facebook page if you found us on YouTube first.
RWBY Nation. RWBY Nation.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.